because it's still a little bit cold, we're going to be doing HIIT as we did last week. And if anybody's got any questions, always ask me. And don't follow anybody else, stay in your own lane, do your thing, don't worry about anybody else. So we're going to practice posture first, of course, because without good posture, why are we doing it? Start with your feet together. Turn your toes out 10 to 2. Lift your heels behind. And that, if you look at me, my hips, knees and ankles are all in a line, which is what we were aiming for. And now we want to lengthen the neck. You look at the difference between there and there. It's much better for your spine. Shoulders, take them high, back and down. That's ridiculous. Shake it off a little bit. And that's where you should be for all the exercises. Some of them get a bit tough when your shoulders start to creep up. So it's shoulders down and back. Neutral spine, vital. So, technical terms, stick your bum out. This is pelvic tilt. Stick your bum out, pelvic tilt. As big a movement as you can. You can try it without your hands there. Now make that movement smaller and smaller and smaller till you stop in the middle, and that's your neutral spine. Again, it's all the exercises you need a neutral spine. So we have to practice it and remember it. And then we want to remember that in just breathe. I'm not going to even talk about breathing, except engage your core. So as you cough, bring your core in. So you go from relaxed, and that's engaging your core, which is also abs tight, belly button to spine. All those other references all mean the same thing, engage your core. And then lift the pelvic floor, which is inside you. Boys have them too. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring it up inside. Nobody can see. Lower it down. Bring it up inside again. And lower it down. Now we want to cough and bring it up, just a bit. And that's where you need to hold it. Hi, Lindsay. Okay, so now you're set up. Because you're engaging your core, you breathe through your ribs. But just try it. Put your hands on your ribs and fingertips together and take a massive inhale. Now, because this isn't moving, so your breath isn't going into your stomach, it's going here. So your ribs fall apart and they come back together again. So we want to be breathing here, but you just breathe at your own rate, whatever you need. Okay, so we're going to start with some HIIT, which is lunges. Now, lunge is a lunge is a lunge. There's loads of them. The main thing is, we've just talked about having your hips and legs hip distance apart. We lunge in that position. So in other words, not one foot in front of the other, but your hips and knees and toes in a line. And we don't lunge by bending forward. We lunge by staying upright and lowering down. So you're aiming to get your knee just almost to the floor, but not quite. So this is a lunge. Okay, so you can do it here. Got 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, times 8. So the first one's easy, and then later on you start to think, oh, actually. So if you want to make it harder, some of you will, you do the 4 on one side, and then do 4 on the other side, if you're used to exercise. If you're not, swap each time, because it just gives you a bit of a break. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you some other ways to increase it. But at the moment, start like this. Okay, all the way up, squeezing your bum. Okay, you okay, Lindsay? Right then, where's my timer? Can you see? You might be able to. You should be able to hear it on there. Get ready in position. There we are. And off we go. So keep your shoulders down and back. Spine is still neutral, so you're not leaning forward. And rest. I suggest you do this as though you've got a crab on the end of your toe. So remember, you can swap sides now or not. I'm not going to. So shoulders down and back, neck still lengthened. So it's perfectly upright. Core still engaged, pelvic floor still lifted, and smile. Brilliant, well done. There we are, it's quarter of the way there already. Shorts, I'm impressed. And again. So it's about control, making sure knees stay in front, not going under, because if you go under, you're tipping your hips out of alignment. Brilliant, that's 3 down, 1 to go on this side, if that's what we're doing. Nearly there. Okay, now if you want to bring a bit more oomph into it, you could do your arms if you want to, whatever you want. Just the more muscles you use, the more calories you burn. And last week it was about 290. It's a lot. So I've lost count now. Is that 4? Thank you. So I'm going to change sides. Making sure your knees track your toes, not going under. Keeping your shoulders down and back. So this is a balance as well, isn't it? You don't have to go all the way down to the floor. You could just go to here. Here. You get a wet knee. Now, 1 down. Making sure that knee comes along with the toe, not slightly under. Just because it's going to hurt your hips. Brilliant, we haven't got long now, that's only 2 to go. Try and stay upright, so look at the mirror. Yay! Only 1 more. 20 seconds work, and then you get a rest for a minute. Smile. Well done, that's it. That's the first one done. Right, this is what you need now. Kicking your bum, which stretches and lengthens your your glutes, which your quads, which are the ones at the front. All right, the next one is a side to side. So because some of you got socks on, I would face that way. But basically what we're doing is a side lunge now. So we've done front, now we're doing side. Again, you can do it like this, then you're using the same muscles a lot, and therefore you work them a lot harder. But if you want to swap each time, if you're new to exercise or you're new to my class, I don't mind that either. Or you can do a whole bunch that side, next one that side. Lots of options. The more movement you bring into your arms, the more calories you burn. Are we ready? 10 seconds to think about it. So yeah, don't get your socks wet. They're horrible. So I'm going to go all to one side. So we've done front to back. So now it's side to side. So if you want to change sides, you're very welcome now, and then each time. It's up to you. But you're looking good. Try and stay upright. And breathe, and your shoulders are still down and back. Core still engaged, belly button to spine. of the way through. Heart rate 110, so there you are. Number 3. So I'm bending my knee, rather than leaning forward, bend the knee, so you can stay upright. Is that 3?
3.
Or 4? How many is 3? Thank you. Last one on this side for me. There is a well-known saying that Pilates instructors can't count. This particular one can't spell either, but I'm sure you've seen that on my emails. Halfway. Can I have a look at you lot? I'm going this way now for 4. If it helps, I'm going like this. So if you notice, I'm not bending over, I'm staying upright by bending that knee. Three to go. That's 1 minute work, 1 minute's work, that's all. I'm not going to think about it like that. Got 2 left. 2 left? Yeah. 40 seconds work, that's all. If you need a rest, please have one. We're all different. But you look very elegant. I should have the camera on you. If anybody wants me to take a picture with their phone, I will. 20 seconds work left, that's all. Heart rate 118. Yay. Brilliant. So, this, and this, and this, and this. But the next exercise is a big balance move. So, I want you to do it slowly, not quickly, because quickly, you're not working on your balance. Every balance, try it here first, arms here. If it gets easy, you could try here. If it gets really easy, you could do it here, if you're a pro. So we're doing hip circles because we've just done front to back, side to side. So now we're going to lift and take the knee out. So the ideal is not to put the foot down on the floor at all. Keep going till you fall over or can't do it anymore. And then have a rest. We're not timing it this time. So you do your move under control. Practicing your balance on this very uneven floor, which is brilliant. And if you're still finding it really easy to balance, do look around at the scenery, because moving your eyes while you're trying to balance is what makes it a whole lot harder. Again, as high as you can. Balance is one of those things, neural pathways from the brain to every muscle, works so quick, but there's that saying, isn't there, use it or lose it, and those neural pathways, that's me doing, neural pathways shut down if you don't use them. You can retrain them and get them back. So just because your balance is a bit wobbly at the moment, it doesn't mean it will always be. So I'm changing now, I'm going forward, same leg, because I want to work harder. bracing your core will really help. Your hips probably ache tomorrow. I have heard some of you had the DOMs last week, which is good. DOMs are a badge of honour. That's me done on that side. I'm now going to change sides. Done or done in. Balance affects everything. If you're a runner, swimmer, anything, you need balance. And I'm not ashamed to say my father-in-law did fall over. He was one of the 90,000 a year that literally just stood up, fell over, not drunk, and just because he lost his balance and he broke his hip. It's 90,000 a year that happens to. Okay, that's done in. I'm going to change now and go the other way. So I've just got the last quarter, if you like. And then we can slow down. This is harder this way than the other leg. So I don't know if you can feel it as well as working. Ankles. Okay, that's it. I'm done in there. So now I'm just doing this too. And this. And then I'm just going to go into a crouch, because I can still bend my knees while I can. And then I'm just going to go up and down a little bit. A bit. Now I know some of you are really bending, you can touch the floor with straight legs, but don't ever force it. Now we're going to go back, because you don't need to do the legs, but we'll go back to the top. So if you start with your neck, so you're in your perfect setup position, inhale. As you exhale, you don't let that core go, but you turn your face to the side and back. And off to the other side on the breath and back. And keep that movement going, making sure you don't move your shoulders. Lovely. And now we're going to go up and back. So it's chin to chest, chin to the sky. Shoulders stay where they are. It is only the head moving. And now we're going to circle the nose. If you remember, everything we do, a small range of movement first, just to check nothing's hurting. It's like a body scan. And then as long as nothing's hurting, go bigger and bigger until you're doing your biggest movement without any pain, which is what we're heading for. And then change direction, but of course go back to small first. And then we'll do the shoulders a little bit. We have worked, I think you all worked the shoulders actually, so we don't need to do much here. Keeping the neutral spine. There's a tendency to want to go like this with your back, but we keep the neutral spine. Change direction. And then we're going to do side bends. Now, side bend, we don't lean forward at all or back. We literally go down the side of your trousers, back up, and the hard thing is keeping your core engaged and your pelvic floor lifted. Lovely. And now we're going to circle the hips, which imagine you're being drawn up to the sky and just the hips are moving. So not the upper body at all. This is just warming up your back, loosening all the joints and ligaments up and down the back. Try it keeping the core engaged. And change direction. So the reason I'm recording this is it will end up on YouTube, nowhere else. and it will have a private listing. So it's unlisted, and anybody who asks me for the link to it gets it. You will all get the link, but otherwise, because you've paid me, so everybody else who wants it, they would have to pay to get the link. So if you know anybody that wants to do it, you just let me know. Brilliant. So I think we're perfectly mobilised. I'm just going to actually just go up onto your toes and lift your toes. Up onto your toes, just to stretch those calf muscles and ankles off and toes off. Okay, we're going to go onto the mat and we're going to do a flowing, because we want to keep warm. We don't really do much static doing Pilates, but we're going to do plank to down dog. So to get into down dog, we start on our hands and knees in a box position with your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees under your hips, and you're in a perfect box. Let's do a cat-cow while we're there, because this is for when you need a rest. A cat stretch, you take your spine way up to the ceiling, stretches your shoulders and your back. Lower it to neutral spine, and the neutral spine, you have your shoulders away from your ears, down and back. And then cow stretch, where you look up to the mirror, stick your bum out, but keep the core engaged. Back to neutral spine, and back up to cat stretch. So anytime you need a rest during this exercise, you can do this cat-cow. Down dog, you curl your toes under, take all the weight back, and then straighten the legs a bit. Now, some of you will get the legs straight, some of you don't stand a chance. Don't worry about that. And then we're going to go forward into plank, high plank, which is up here, and back into down dog. So we're going to do that rocking motion for as long as we can, really. Now, if you hate it on your wrists, because you've got perhaps, if you hate it on your wrists because they're just a little bit weak, keep trying, but you can go down and do it on your elbows as well. It just feels a bit awkward to me, but you can do it here, just uses all the same muscles. But the reason I've said do it at plank, because there's a progression if you want it. So when we're up here, you can add on knee to opposite elbow, knee to opposite elbow. So that's for the ones that really want to work or get warm. So press-ups are coming later. So we're going from down dog into plank, opposite knee. Down dog into plank. This is really using the shoulders, the back, stretching lots of muscles as well. So let me have a little look. And when you're in your down dog, imagine I'm behind you, pushing your shoulders back towards your feet. And if your wrists are killing, you can just pause and snake your wrists a bit. And snake them the other way, and then go back to it. I need to bring my nose. So that looks very graceful, and because you're doing it at the right speed, it doesn't look like hard work, but it is, isn't it? So I'm going to just say to somebody, when you're doing your plank, plank is a dead straight line. This isn't plank, this is bad for your back, this is plank. So we stop here, and then into down dog, and stop here. How are we doing? You know? Okie dokie, let's just get rid of these achy wrists by doing this. And the other way. And this. So plank is really good. We were talking about this last week. Because we don't do much like in this position with our wrists, then when we're asked to do it, it hurts, and you do need to be aware that you need to keep these muscles supple as well. You're not going to be asked to do plank in your everyday life, but there are times when you need strong wrists, and this is a really good one for strengthening them. And if you want to practice strengthening your wrists just by the bar, you could just be in box and just lean forward and hold it for a breath and back. And this is strengthening your wrists and hands, because I've got to say my hand's the weakest part of me, to be honest. So have a go at that, so you can just practice it when you're at home. Just do it 3 times, 4 times. So all we're doing is rocking forward, not doing the press up. Or we're doing those in a minute. Okay. Right, we're going to do the ab HIIT that we did last week. And the reason we're doing the same is because I'm sort of thinking if we keep to the same one, it's using all the way around, so that's why it's good. But also you might sort of think, oh, I've got 5 minutes, let me do something. I can't remember what I've got to do. Oh, yes, I can. So I'm going to set the timer again. 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest. And if you, we've got some new people, hold on. So the exercise is quite quick. We do 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest. So you've got to be ready to move into the next move. The first move doesn't look very much, but if you're doing it properly, you're working quite hard. So you're lying on your back, and if you put your fingertips on your ribs and hips, and all you're trying to do is squeeze them together. So my head and shoulders aren't coming off the floor. It's like a U-bend. Try that. Then the next bit is side plank, lots of side planks. For anybody new, or again we're on the wrists, side plank can be here with 3 points on the floor. Most of my regulars will be here. You can go here if your wrists have had enough for the night, or here. And then there are other progressions which some of you know about, so we do that on both sides. Scissors. Take one leg up to tabletop. Brace your core, take the other leg to tabletop, and then dip. So this isn't about a knee movement, it's a hip movement. So you're going to take the hip and keep that knee at that same angle. This is scissors. The heavier the lever, the longer the lever, the heavier it is. You could be here, or you could be here. And you can do that. If you're doing that, you can do it as fast as you like. Ankle taps are in this starting position. We do one side, tap, tap, tap. And then we do the other side. And then the 4-point kneeling is bringing your forehead towards your knee and out. Forehead to knee. But it's not a swing, it's a controlled, bring it in and really squeeze it here, and then really squeeze it here on both sides. Happy? Let's do. Okay, same timing. We are going to increase this to 30 seconds, by the way. Not today, though. Okay, you got 10, 9, 8. First one is the U-bend. Fingertips on your ribs and hips. Squeezing them together. Squeezing them together. Squeezing them together. Your bum stays on the floor. Brilliant. Next one is side plank. Choose your side plank. I'm going up here. Yep, brilliant, brilliant. I'd expect to see something different going on around the room. Making sure you've got your bum in. That's it, brilliant. If you want to progress it, you could be doing this, or you could be doing this. You choose. Next one is scissors. No, if you go on your back first, you don't have to so much faffing. So scissors here or here. If you've got your legs straight, try and keep your foot flexed, not pointed, and then every time it comes up, you get a nice stretch all down the back of the leg. Now the other side of plank. Just so you're not rolling over, rolling back, rolling over, rolling back. choose your plank. But don't worry, you can change if you feel like you did the wrong one. Want to make it harder or easier. Just make sure your bum's in, not sticking out. Pelvic floor is still lifted. Superb. Ankle taps. So if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can make it a bit heavier at your head end by having your hand here. So it's just tap, 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 tap. Doing the same side. Trying to control it and not swing, because we don't want to use momentum. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Brilliant, and of course we do the next side. And if you get a chance without unscrewing your head, have a look at the sunset behind you, it's lovely. So it's a bigger movement as you can do without using momentum. Easy, well done. And now the last one is both sides, but 4-point kneeling. So, knee to forehead, squeeze it there, squeeze it at the top. Now, some of you might want to use the opposite arm as well. It's up to you. It's all about balance. Lovely. Nice one. And of course the other side now. Hang on a minute. There you go. Now. And then we get a bit of a rest and then we do it all again. So this app I'm using is a free app. Doesn't cost a penny, and you can get it on your phone. Right, so have a bit of a rest and a shake off and a whatever you need, because we'll do it all again. And that took 4 minutes. If you did that 3 times a day, you might do 4 minutes now, 4 minutes in an hour's time, 4 minutes before you go to bed. Do whatever you want. Okay, everybody happy? Doing it again. First one is the U-bend. Off we go. In 9, 8, you'll hear it. Brilliant. Go. U-bend. So what is good is your bum stays on the floor, by the way. It's like a pelvic tilt. That's it. Your head and shoulders stay on the floor. Wow. Brilliant, well done. Next is a side plank. So you know now what you thought of the last side plank. Make it harder or easier. Up to you. Stick your bum in a nice straight, that's it. Brilliant. Superb. So you can go for it now. This is your last 20 seconds on scissors. Your hardest scissors. I'm not letting my foot touch the floor in each time. I'm just hovering above. Brilliant. Other side plank. I've just realised, Steve, you haven't got a mat. I mean...
I'm just connecting with the
Okay. Very woo-woo. So when I get this onto YouTube and send you the link, what it means you can do is if you want to do this whole workout again anytime during the week or ever, because you'll have the link forever, ankle taps, then you can do it as many times as you want to. Ankle taps. strong core will help every other sport that you do, even if you're only walking, cycling, swimming, running, and rest. And the other side. There's a bit of conspiracy going on. I updated my phone, and now battery's going very quickly. Last one, 4-point kneeling. If you want to, you can bring your other hand off the floor. So you're bringing your knee to your forehead and then stretching out. Lovely. Brilliant. So I'm telling you what I'm seeing a little bit of, which isn't good for your hips. When you lift the one leg off the floor, don't let the hip drop out. Keep the hip and the thigh straight upright. Brilliant. Well done. Now the rest you need, so that's all the abs, all the hip we're doing. If you go into child pose for a nice stretch, stretching your back the other way, stretching your shoulders, stretching your bum, relax into it. And breathe. And then come back up onto your knees and take your knees wide and feet together and do a wide leg child pose just to do the inner thighs. Well done. So what we're going to do now are press-ups the Pilates way. So in other words, not quick ones. So we're going to do it for mobility as well. So the whole thing, I'm going to do it a bit quicker than you, only so you don't get bored. So you drop your chin to your chest, you roll your spine down, unless you're told not to. Roll your spine down, bend your knees when you need to, take your hands out. Now, most people will be doing their press-ups here, slowly down, slowly up. Maybe do 2 if you want to. Rebuild the spine, back up to standing. So I did that in super quick time, but I'll talk you through it. Okay, so you choose your press-up. Okay, so we start at the top, chin to chest. Hands dangling, 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 round the back, except for some of you. When you need to bend your knees, bend them. Walk the hands out, drop the knees to the floor, take your hands wide. Your press-up, wherever that may be. And then build the spine back up, all the way back up to standing. That's one press-up. And off you go again, chin to chest. Hands all the way down, bend your knees when you need to, walking out into your press-up. You could do 2 this time. 1, 2, rebuilding back up to standing. Okay, and off you go again. Chin to chest, rolling the back all the way down 1 vertebrae at a time. And walk the hands out into your press-up. So, your back is a bit like that. Brilliant. When you need to rest, go back into that child pose. If you get tired, no, I don't mean that. If you get cold, tell me and we'll do another HIIT. I'm not cold. Maybe it's just me. But also I have a selection of hot drinks. Here. I would rather you do it on him. You okay? See? This, do this, do this, do this. Rest when you need to. But it's lovely work, considering some of you haven't done any exercise, I'm told, for a year. You're doing really well. So, is anybody going to the pub? Thought so. Martin has said we can just turn up, we don't have to book or anything. So, those of you who don't know, we go to the narrowboat for a drink now, just to, you know, put the calories back on and to reward ourselves. To do what? Tell him to meet you there. Date. Have we done enough? Okay, shoulders need this now, for sure. When I said pub, I did mean later, not now. There's a mad rush for... Look at the sun, it's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to do a couple now lying on our front. Double leg kick. It's just, if you get cramp in your hamstring, this is your hamstring, if you get a cramp in your hamstring while you're doing this, you want to get your foot bent under as best you can and stretch it out. And if that doesn't work, sit like this with your legs straight, just to get rid of the cramp before it grabs hold. So we're doing double leg kick, relaxing the upper body here. So it's easy peasy, 1, 2, 3, and out. 1, 2, 3, and out. And each time you go out, you don't need to take your feet to the floor. You're like a dart. So that's a bit quick. Let me show you again. So it's controlled, 1, 2, 3, and as you take them out, you straighten them, but not on the floor, relax. They're straight and off the floor. And then back into your double kick again. See what I mean about the hamstring though? Gets contracted and stretched. Okay, now I'm going to show you the upper end, because we're building up onto this move. The upper end, you have your the backs of your hands to the floor, palms up to the sky. And we're going to go lift and turn the hands and back down. We don't lift the face because that hurts your neck. So you stay looking at the floor and back down. So it's up and down. Legs are together. Oh, lovely. Brilliant. Yes. Can I hear somebody grunting? Yeah, we don't do grunting, we breathe. No, I know. And breathe. All right, now you can either swap between the two, because you've just done a lower body move and an upper body move, and we're going to combine the two, but it takes a little bit of coordination. So I don't mind if you just carry on doing the one end and then the other, but the whole move is double kick here, and as your legs go down straight and strong, you lift the upper body. And into the double kick again, so the legs never go down to the floor again. And you have to think about having an ice cube under your tummy. So the first thing you do is switch your core off, belly button to spine. If you had an ice cube under there, you'd go and bring it in, wouldn't you? So I know that's an awful lot of coordination, and I know that's a tricky brain thing, but it is strengthening everything. So when you lift the upper body, I'm seeing a little bit of throwing the upper body up. Why not try taking it up instead? Knees are together, feet are together, core engaged. Your legs go to straight, but you keep them off the floor. I know, it's a big one. Massive. So when you've done enough of this, go into your child pose when you need to. Looking good though, looking very good. Fantastic. Brilliant. So if you do say one more, two more, and then come into your nice child pose. And if you do wide leg child pose, because just then trying to keep your knees and feet together is actually using your inner thighs quite a lot. So the best stretch is to have a wide leg child pose. So there's only one more move, but it is a side move, so we have to do it on both sides, of course. And then we're on to the stretches. So, are you warm enough, or do we need to do another HIIT? What? Warm enough. Right. Side kick. What? We're fine. Yeah. Side kick. Okay. It's a side leg kick. You need to be in a straight line. The tendency is to have your bum stuck out so you're in a penknife position, but we need to get those heels in line with the hips. Then you need to imagine you've got a candle underneath your waist, so you lift your waist off the floor. Use this hand in front for balance and rest your upper body on your pillow. Your other arm's a pillow, and we're going to inhale, and as you exhale, lift the legs just a little bit and then lower them back down. That's your practice run. Now we're going for the big guns. So you inhale, and as you exhale, lift the legs and hold them there, and hold them there, and breathe, and hold them there, and hold them there, and breathe, and hold them. Now obviously you drop them when you need to, but otherwise you hold them and 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 breathe. Keep your knees together, your ankles together. Flex the feet because it gives you a nice stretch down the back of the leg, and if you can lift that other hand off the floor so you don't need it to keep your balance, that's even better. It's up to you. And then while you're there now, just walk the feet, so front to back, front, and the hard thing then is staying on that hip. If you're managing to stay up, well done, because it's tough. Okay, legs together, lower them down. Well done, have a breather, turn over, and we do the other side. And this is the very last move, power move, until we do stretches. So, really. So, make sure you're in a straight line. Do a mini one first. So you inhale, exhale, lift the legs and lower them down. Now you go to the big one. Making sure you're in a straight line. I'm seeing some bums stuck out. And breathe and hold and breathe and hold. And now if you can, start walking the feet. Wow, look at the colour of the mirror, it's fantastic. And ankles together and gently lower them down. Brilliant, that's fantastic. So roll onto your back. We're going to just stretch the sides since we just used them. So I'll do this standing up. You're lying on your back with your arms up in the air, full body stretch. Flex the feet, point the toes, flex the feet, point the toes. Flex the feet, point the toes. Lovely. Circle the ankles. Now, those hands that are way above your head, just creep them round to the side a little bit to bend the side muscles. So ankles are together, feet are together. And then, when you're in that position, your hands should be still on the floor. Shifty the feet just across a little bit so you're in a banana shape now. And relax. So don't overdo this because you're supposed to relax here. Because we're doing a developmental stretch of those side muscles. You've been using them massively, now we need to get them back to the length they were before you started, and a little bit longer if possible. So in a nice C shape, you shouldn't have overdone it. You shouldn't be swearing at me under your breath. You should be quite relaxed. Now, shifty the feet back to the centre, and shifty the hands back to the centre. And of course, off to the other side. Little by little, shifty, 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 so then you know. Brilliant. And shifty back to the middle. Okay, we need to come up onto your hands and knees, so go onto your side. Use those big strong shoulder muscles to lift you up, and we'll get onto your hands and knees. And some cat-cow stretches. Cat, middle, cow. Oh, gosh. Now we're going to hold them. So we're going to cat stretch and hold it, and hold it, and hold it. And back to neutral spine. And cow stretch and hold it. And back to neutral spine. Now we're going to bring one knee forward. So again, remember when we were doing the lunges, we didn't have the one foot in front of the other, so we fell over. We had them hip distance apart. So we're going to do a moving stretch because it's cold. So we're going to lunge forward and back, lifting the toe. So you're getting a hamstring stretch again. Lunge forward and back. There we are, nice and controlled. Forward and back. So from the side it looks like this. Forward and back. And of course we need to swap legs. And same again, forward and back, lifting the toe to stretch the back of the leg, the calf and the hamstring. I've still got my core engaged. When I go here, I don't go and let it all hang out, even though it looks like it is. That's the COVID stone. Brilliant. And bring the knees together. And we're just going to back bend slightly and forward. And back bend slightly and forward. Try bringing the hands, interlink the fingers, turn them inside out, back bend and forward. This isn't a massive back bend that's trying to break your back, this is just to stretch your front. That's all. Okay, while we're here, let's stretch the shoulders. So you take your hands out, you bring one across the body, and now I'm just gently easing that towards myself, stretching this muscle here. So it's like this. And change sides. Look at that mirror, it's gorgeous. Like this.
That's why I never say left or right, because I actually don't know.
It's my left and right. And shake them off. We're going to come up to standing, so let's do it the nice way. Hands to the floor. Push back into a crouch. So your heels are off the floor now. We're going to leave the head down. Straighten the legs to mild tension. If you can get them straight, that's up to you, but don't force anything. Hands on the thighs, rolling back up to that set-up position we started with. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more, up onto your toes, walking around on your toes. Smile.